Hey there, religious studies pupils, and welcome to this explainer. I'm here to give you the ultimate, highly structured revision guide on a beautifully complex topic. If you're preparing for your exams right now and trying to wrap your head around Component 3, Judaism, specifically Jewish beliefs about resurrection, well, you're in exactly the right place. Grab your notebooks because we're going to break this all down to make sure you have absolute clarity. Okay, let's dive right into our agenda for today. We're going to cover 1. Origins of resurrection beliefs. 2. Views on Olam Haba. 3. The Messianic age sequence. 4. The Rosh Hashanah exception. And 5. Comparing the viewpoints. Stick around for Section 5 because that master comparison is going to be absolutely perfect for your exam notes.
All right, Section 1. Origins of resurrection beliefs. Where these ideas actually come from.
So, you might be surprised to know that most Jewish ideas about the afterlife actually developed in post-biblical times. For your revision, this means you won't find just one single definitive blueprint for the afterlife, neatly laid out in the earliest biblical texts. Instead, over the years, many scholars and rabbis have discussed and debated interpretations of passages from the Torah to find different answers. Think of interpreting the Torah kind of like a beautifully complex puzzle. Over centuries, scholars arrange the pieces, but because of the incredible depth of the text, they reveal slightly different pictures. And that's exactly why these diverse ideas emerged post-biblically. And that brings us to the absolute most important quote you can use to anchor your essays. If you're taking notes right now, highlight this core premise. There is no consistent belief. Do not fall into the trap of writing, Jews believe X about the afterlife. You have to show the examiner that you understand the diversity of thought here. There literally isn't just one monolithic answer when it comes to Jewish beliefs about resurrection. Instead, there are differing perspectives based on rich textual interpretation. So let's look at the first of those perspectives. Section 2. Views on Olam Haba. Some Jews' perspectives. Olam Haba literally translates to the world to come, but for this specific group of believers, it refers to a time even beyond the worlds of the resurrected. It's seen as the ultimate, final spiritual destination, and it sits entirely separate from the initial physical resurrection of the dead. Some Jews believe in a very specific three-step timeline. Step 1, first, there is a physical resurrection of the dead. Step 2, then Olam Haba, that ultimate world to come, arrives. And Step 3, the resurrected will eventually die a second death. Now, this is a really fascinating theological distinction. The idea here is that resurrection is a return to a physical, temporary state. But to truly enter the eternal spiritual realm of Olam Haba, the physical body must undergo a second death. Make sure you have second death bolded or starred in your notes for this specific group. Moving on to Section 3, the Messianic age sequence, and what other Jews believe. Now, other Jews sequence the events linearly, but with entirely different milestones. Phase 1 is the Messianic age. This is a future era of global peace and harmony. Phase 2 is the resurrection, which follows the Messianic age. And finally, Phase 3 is the Day of Judgment. So as you can see, they place resurrection squarely between the Messianic age and judgment. It's a completely different structural flow from the group we looked at just a second ago. But wait, it gets a bit more layered. Within this others group, there's a vital split you absolutely need to memorize. One camp believes only the righteous will be resurrected. In this view, resurrection is a reward all by itself. The contrasting view is that everyone will be resurrected, and then the day of judgment will follow to sort the righteous from the wicked. So when you're writing your exam answers about this group, make sure to mention both the timeline sequence and this internal debate about who exactly gets resurrected. Section 4. The Rosh Hashanah exception. A few Jews' beliefs. A few Jews believe there is no need for a day of judgment at all, specifically because of Rosh Hashanah. Think about it logically with a simple analogy, right? If you're already taking a massive, highly important exam every single year to track your progress, do you really need a giant final exam at the very end of your life? In Jewish tradition, Rosh Hashanah is the annual Day of Judgment, where God judges humanity's actions over the past year. Because this judgment is an ongoing, yearly cycle, this group argues that a distinct, separate, apocalyptic Day of Judgment at the end of times is simply redundant. Rosh Hashanah effectively replaces the necessity for it. And finally, Section 5, comparing the viewpoints. Let's summarize these beliefs. This summary perfectly categorizes the divergent paths of Torah interpretation into one definitive, easy-to-study cheat sheet. We've broken it down into some Jews, other Jews, and a few Jews. For some Jews, Olam Haba comes after resurrection, and it features that completely unique second death concept. For other Jews, their timeline is different. Resurrection follows the Messianic age, and their internal debate is whether only the righteous are resurrected or everyone is resurrected for a subsequent judgment day. And finally, a few Jews believe there's no future day of judgment at all, because the annual festival of Rosh Hashanah already fulfills that role. If you can replicate the core ideas from the summary, you're going to demonstrate a highly sophisticated, nuanced understanding of Jewish beliefs about the afterlife to any examiner.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, pretty provocative question. How can interpreting the exact same Torah passages lead to such beautifully diverse theological conclusions? As you study, remember that in Judaism, questioning, debating, and exploring the text is seen as just as holy as finding an answer. This diversity isn't a sign of confusion, it's a sign of a vibrant, intellectually rich, post-biblical tradition. Consider that thought as you review your notes. Good luck with your revision, keep this structure in mind, and you are going to do absolutely great.